Good morning, and welcome to Winnipeg. Now, the reason I'm chuckling is because I did not come back to the model table again. I know when I'm finishing off the last episode, I say something to the effect of maybe I'll come back and work somewhere on this, but lately I just haven't been doing it. Well, that's the way she goes. We'll continue on today. We'll be doing part 2 of the first part of step 8. Now, in yesterday's episode, I was talking about when I replaced this blade, I was talking about how I would wrap the blade up with paper and before I'd throw it in the garbage. And one of the viewers, I guess, reminded me, I knew these things existed, but I never thought in terms of you could get it from Amazon, get a sharps box. So I went on Amazon this morning and I actually ordered one. It's going to be here on Sunday, and it wasn't that expensive, delivered to the door. Yeah, and I've got blades, that I've been that are sort of kicking around, and then maybe there's other sharp stuff, and just throw it in it. And I'll never fill it up. And I guess whoever ends up with this house after I'm gone is going to have to deal with it. But at least it'll all be in one place. Yeah, so thanks for the good idea. Now, what are we going to do here? Well, I was noticing this morning, I haven't cleaned the flashing off of some of my parts there yet. So we're going to be doing that. And what do we got? 8:32 here. Yeah, and at 9:45 this morning, I'm supposed to be getting a call from my doctor. Now, I think it was a week ago today, I got a call from his office, and they want to make an appointment. He's going to make an appointment to give me a call. And I remember saying on the phone to the person, to the lady that called me, I said, so that's a week from today. And she says, yep. So I write it down, 9:45, Tuesday. And now this is good news. To me, it's good news because, and this is about the results from my CT scan that I went and had, 2 weeks ago now. And it's good news because if it was anything serious, they wouldn't have waited a week to tell me about it. At least you wouldn't think they would. Unless there was some way he could make more money by waiting until I was almost at death's door. I don't know. I just don't trust people anymore. When, like in the professions, I don't trust them. It's all about money, isn't it? Okay, let's, before I get myself in too much trouble here, let's recompose and see if we can put some more pieces on our crane here. Okay, you can see right here there's a bit of a notch. I was wondering what that was all about. And so let me swing this around so it's going to be better for me. I think what we're supposed to do is put this in here just like this. And no, it's not wanting to go right now, but I think if I put a little bit of Tamiya extra thin on there to melt the plastic, I'm going to recompose a little bit. Maybe I can move in just a little bit closer. I don't seem to be shaking as bad today. I'm just going to try and get that straight. Okay, let me check the monitor. Yeah, I think that if I'm careful, that won't break out of there. It's not the best meld I'd like the plastic to be a little bit more. Maybe I'm just going to come in with just a little bit more here and just let it. Okay, now I know that looks like a lot, but that should. Yeah, that should completely evaporate, and it will leave a lot more, you might say, molten plastic around the base of that pulley thing. Okay, now we got to put on the two H25s. I'm guessing about 5 minutes has passed here. Alright, this is going to go down there, and then this one is supposed to plug in up there. Now, I don't think there's any way I can do both at the same time, so what I'm going to do, let's see, which is the most crucial one. I think probably the top one. Maybe I'll just get the top one in place. Or will it be when I push the bottom one in, will it sort of go straight? Let's have a look there and see what that looks like. You see, it's going into sort of a square slot there, and yet there appears that there's some sort of a little. I'm just going to reshape the bottom of this thing. Okay, we'll let that meld. It does appear to me that the pin is at the right angle to go in the top here. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that actually lined up pretty good, didn't it? Yeah, I don't have to do any forcing one way or the other. Okay, let's get the other one, and in that way I can do the top one, both of them at the same time. Oh, you notice on the base here, where I nipped off the sprue, it's a little bit, you might say, ragged looking. I think that if I was to take some extra thin and just put it on there like that, it would help meld down that. Now I know once again somebody's going to say, "Oh, it's way too much." Well, yeah, it is, but it's going to disappear, and it's going to sort of flatten out that rough area. At least that's the plan. Okay, let's get the other one there. Now it did wick its way over into this slot here, but I don't think that's going to hurt anything. Okay, I'm guessing about 3 or 4 minutes has passed here. I may have to swing this around a little bit. We'll see what happens. Okay, this pin I think is going to be all right. It should maybe be twisted a little bit counterclockwise, about 10 degrees. Oh. That's somewhat better, actually. Okay. Now, I'm going to recompose, see if I can move in a little bit closer right here. Okay, now my hope is that the extra thin here is going to melt that flashing that I wasn't able to get off of the pegs. And I think it will. Is this one in? Let me check the monitor. No, it's not in. Well, it could be it's in about as. Let me just check here. No, it's not going in the hole. Maybe I need a little bit more solvent here to solve the problem. Now let me check the monitor. Ah, it's more in now. Yeah, it's not as good as I would have liked. There we go. It's in now. Okay, let's let that cure. I mean dry. Okay, we got 2.5 Celsius outside right now. We might lose a little bit of our snow out there today. Wouldn't that be too bad? Okay, my doctor did phone back. And if you remember, I was supposed to go in twice for a CT scan at 2 different times, about 2 weeks apart. And I phoned the doctor and asked why couldn't I have them both at the same time, and they thought, oh yeah, that makes more sense. So I did. I did have 2 scans, about 10 minutes apart. And I thought at first he had the results from both of them, but he just has the result of the one. And I think probably the best thing I heard him say was he used the phrase "no cancer," but he still hasn't heard back from about the other one yet. And then I think the other one is to do mainly with why do I have such terrible, horrendous swelling in my feet and lower legs. Yeah, don't get old if you can help it. Now, what we got going on here is I'm going to try and get some of the flashing off some of these parts. And some of these parts, like number 22 here, is really tiny. I'm going to have to be careful I don't nip off what I'm not supposed to. And I think number 24 is even tinier. Yeah, it's just a little bitty thing. I better check the manual and make sure I know how it's supposed to go on. But some of these other pieces, the flashing is pretty obvious. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and work on that for a while. At least this is done. I think it turned out okay. I'm happy with it. Yeah, what do we got here? We got a little bit of time. I'm just going to shut the camera down and clean off some flashing, and maybe we'll be able to move over to this part of step 8. Now a funny thing just happened here. I thought to myself, as I was about to nip the connections off of these 2 pieces, why don't I see if I can do it on camera? Well, don't you know, I didn't have record pressed when I did it. Anyway, you can see I've got them. This piece here, it had a connection on one of the pegs. I think this peg here. And this one here, it had a connection on this part that I'm just touching right now. You can sort of see where it got nipped off there. Yeah. Now, I want to give you perspective here. Okay, I have these 2 pieces placed mirror image to each other. And you'll notice the one on the right it's sort of bent up. Now I don't know if I did that when I was taking the part out of the bag, but it's almost ready to let go. And I'm wondering if I should maybe try and put a little bit of extra thin there, and also I should maybe try and get rid of that little bit of flashing right there. I think I stopped when I was realized that there was a problem there. I know that you can really see the sprue connections good when you see it up close like this. Like here's another one. I could probably get rid of that a little bit. I don't want to do too much scraping on these parts because they are so incredibly delicate, and I can see where I could, ham-handed person like myself is probably going to end up wrecking it. Okay, I just thought you might like to see that. Okay, I have part 33 in the tweezers, and 35 is laying on the green cloth. Now you can see that there are two pegs coming down out of the webbing here, the cross bracing, and they're supposed to line up with holes right there, sort of like the way I'm doing it. I think if I could, this is going to be very difficult to put together, but I think it is doable. I think maybe the thing to do is sort of reposition here and get it up off of the green cloth so that when I put the extra thin, I think I'm going to use the extra thin, and just moisten the connecting points there. And if I can get two places, like the one right under the tweezer, and then the other one where the other peg is, glued in place, and let them dry good, then I can sort of move the other pieces to where they're supposed to go. This is fitting together fairly good. Okay, just let me think about this for a minute here. Okay, I've taped it down onto one of my rotating platforms here. This might be too much. Just let me take a little off of the applicator there. Go there, go there. And I'm doing the pegs. I know you can't really see them. They're kind of off camera. All right. This is the extra thin, not the quick setting, just the ordinary extra thin. I'm going to get that peg and maybe I should be grabbing it differently here. Let me grab it like this. Whoops. You'll get this peg in. And then if I could just hold this down, get this peg in, like that. Okay, that actually looks pretty good from my perspective. I think what we're going to do is just let that meld. I wonder, does it look like this connection is touching? Because there's no use putting the extra thin on it if they're not touching. Okay, this could maybe lean towards you just a little bit here. I'm looking straight down on it now. Okay, let's let that dry like that, and then those connections will be fairly strong. Then I'll be able to work on the other 4 or 5 or whatever's left there. When this one here at the end melts, it'll be nice and strong. That's for sure. Now I'm thinking that this is probably a good place to use the holder downer. We'll start back here at this end, and it doesn't take very much pressure, I don't think, so that it makes contact. And then maybe I could come just a little bit more my way, like that. Okay, now I'm going to use the quick setting, instead of the extra thin, because I want to get this over with. I've only got one life. I don't want to wait all day here for this. What's that? Put on the macro lens? Sure, why not? Okay, I'm going to just continue to do that all the way along until I get all the loose ones done. I think there's 1, 2, 3 more to go that haven't been fastened down. So, yeah, I'm just going to do it the same way. Now, we did get rid of most of our snow today. I would say at least 90% or more is gone. I don't feel too badly about that. Now, I was noticing that my neighbor did not fasten his drain pipe up against his house before he left. And what happens is, in the wintertime, it gets covered over with snow, and kids being kids, they're going to run across the front yards. There's no fences, so they just run across the front yards, taking a shortcut from house to house, and they won't see it's there, and they will step on it and flatten it down. Now, it looks like that's already happened at least once before already. Well, we don't want it to be happening again. Yeah. Anyway, now, he did have his mail redirected to my house, but just in case, I thought I'd better check. Now, mind you, it is pretty early yet. I don't think the mailman has come yet. I mean, the letter-delivering person. Okay. As you can see, I haven't got very far. But I'm going to call her quits for today, folks. So, at least for right now. Thanks for watching. And all been well, we're going to see you tomorrow.